Today, we are going to read a story called Be Safe. This is an informational text and it is nonfiction. Nonfiction means it tells about real people, places, and things. And remember, if it's an informational text, it tells about real people, places, and things, and it gives us information. Let's look at different characteristics of non-fiction texts or books. This picture shows a real person as a crossing guard. The passage says a crossing guard helps us to cross the street. So, in non-fiction texts, the texts or the words tell us about real people, places, and things. The photograph shows real people, right here and right here, real little boys and girls crossing the street. It's also a picture like we would take with a camera instead of a picture that someone draws with a pencil or with markers. Look at these two seat belts right here. Here's one, and here's one. The picture shows a real mom helping her kids to buckle their seat belts. And the passage, the words are going to be about wearing a seat belt. It says, in the car, you must wear a seat belt. In nonfiction texts, people in the text are real life people. They're people we would really meet every day. Okay, let me pause the video a minute. Okay, that's better. I had to get the book fast forwarded to the right page here. So here is our book. Are you ready to listen to it? Okay.
Be safe. What rules keep us safe on the way home from school? A crossing guard helps us cross the street. Walking rules. 1. Look both ways. 2. Cross at the crosswalk.
So this list gives us important information about walking rules. What walking rules do we always have? Number 1, we should do what? We should look both ways before crossing the street. And number 2, we should always cross at a crosswalk. A crosswalk are those lines that's painted on the street, and they are painted from one sidewalk all the way across the road to the other sidewalk. They tell us the path we should use to get across the street safe. We still have to look both ways, though, to make sure there's not any vehicles coming. Let's read the next page.
If you ride a bike, always put on a helmet. A helmet will protect you. Biking rules. 1. Wear a helmet. 2. Stay on the bike path.
So what important information does the list give us here about rules we should follow when we ride our bike? We should always wear what? We should always wear a helmet. Because if we accidentally fall off of our bike or our bike falls down and we bump our head on the sidewalk or on the bike path, that helmet is going to help keep our head safe so that it doesn't cause any really bad damage. We should also always stay on what? Always stay on the bike path. Sometimes it's a sidewalk we're riding on. Sometimes it's a path through the park. Sometimes it's a certain area that our mom or dad say we have to stay in when we are riding our bike. Maybe we have to stay in the driveway when we are riding our bike. But we should always stay on the bike path, regardless of what that bike path is.
In a car, you must wear a seatbelt. It is the law. We need rules to stay safe. People cooperate by following rules. Riding rules. 1. Sit in the back seat. 2. Buckle your seatbelt.
So, what are some riding rules that we have to follow that the children are following in the picture? Number 1, where should we always sit? We should always sit in the back seat because none of you are big enough to be allowed by law to sit in the front seat. It's not safe for you to sit in the front seat yet because you're too small and you could get hurt too easily. So you should always sit in the back seat. What's the rule number 2? What does the girl have on? Mom is helping the boy to put on and buckle up. You should always buckle up your seatbelt. That way if the car runs into something and hits something by accident, that seatbelt is going to keep you in your seat. If you don't have that on, you could fall out of your seat and get hurt really, really bad, and we don't want that to happen. So how does a crossing guard help to keep us safe? Back here in this picture, this guy right here is a crossing guard. You see him holding up this sign right here? What kind of a sign is that? That is a stop sign, and it is telling all of the other cars to stop. All of the people driving cars have to follow the rule and stop. He makes them stop, and then he allows the children to cross the street safely. So, what are some rules you should follow to stay safe on your way home from school? Some of you ride a school bus. What are some rules that you need to follow on the school bus? You should always, always stay in your seat until the bus is completely stopped, right? You shouldn't stand up or get out of your seat until the bus has completely stopped and it's your turn to get off. Okay, thank you for reading this story with me today.